Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be all about weeks 13 and 14 of my pregnancy. I'm officially 15 weeks now, so all my little notes and things that I have here are discussing my symptoms and my just general pregnancy for the last couple weeks. So because I am 15 weeks, I'm going to look at one of my 4 different pregnancy apps that I have for no reason at all, and just kind of explain to you a little bit about what's going on right now with baby. I have one app in particular that lets you choose like a theme when it talks about the size of your baby, and the theme is fun and games. So in this app it tells me that baby is now the size of a box of 8 crayons and going to another app where it tells more of the size from foods and fruits and stuff like that. Baby would now be the size of an apple or a navel orange, so about 4 inches long. So at this point in time, baby is growing at a rapid rate. It seems to be about 1 inch a week currently, and the further along that I get, the faster that rate will go. It'll be getting a lot bigger, a lot faster. Okay, so I'm gonna jump right into week 13. So all of my symptoms for week 13 and 14 were basically similar, some a little different. Some that didn't really change from the previous weeks, just maybe heightened or lowered or all that kind of stuff. So in week 13, I got a lot of indigestion, and I mean bad to the point where I was getting indigestion from drinking water, and to the point where it was making me feel physically ill, not necessarily nauseous, but I was definitely like very uneasy. Also around the same time in the very beginning, I kid you not, I had a headache for 4 full days. It really did not go away. You are allowed to take acetaminophen, whatever it's called. While you're pregnant, you are allowed to take it, and actually I did some research and found out that you are allowed to take up to 4,000 milligrams a day, and I was trying not to take more than 500 milligrams a day because I felt like a bad mom if I was. So finding out I was able to take a little bit more, I was only taking 1,000 a day. I didn't really need any more than that. I would take one 500 milligram capsule, and it would rid my headache for maybe 2 to 3 hours, and then it would come back, and it was just like a mild headache right at the top of my head, and it was very uncomfortable. It was one of those like where I couldn't bend down or like really move too fast, or else my head would start bothering me. Like I said, for the first like 4 days that was just straight, and then it's more or less like frequent now, but not nearly as frequent as just having it for days on end. One very positive thing that has happened is I am having to use the bathroom less, which is weird to me. I would think that the further along I'm getting that I would have to use it more. I do know when I get bigger it's going to be very often, but for the time being it's actually lessened. For a couple weeks I wasn't able to sleep a full night without getting up between like 2 and 3 in the morning and having to pee, and now I can sleep until my alarm goes off or like a few minutes before to get up for work the next day, and I'm good until then. I can actually sleep. I could at that time sleep through the night without having to pee. The other symptom I was having at week 13 was that I had literally no appetite. I would feel hungry first thing in the morning on a completely empty stomach, and then I was eating very, very small things like throughout the day, every so often, every couple hours. I'm not feeling ill if I don't eat like I was for a little bit. I'm actually just never really hungry. So if I don't eat, it's not really a big deal until the morning time, which doesn't seem to make any sense, but that was just one of the symptoms. I haven't really had any cravings in the last couple weeks at all, but I can say one thing that has stayed true from the beginning of the pregnancy until now is that I'm very turned off to sweets. I've never been a big sweet person anyway. I enjoy having like savory, crunchy, salty, cheesy kind of things, but now I'm just like completely turned off to sweets. I'll have it occasionally if I have it in the house and I just feel like eating something after dinner for no reason at all, but I would more than likely go to something salty than I would to sweet. I'm not craving or attracted to anything sweet at the moment. So another thing that changed at week 13 was prior weeks I was actually very hydrated, I guess you could say. I would salivate a lot and I didn't really feel like I was super thirsty. And by week 13, I feel like I cannot drink enough water. I am pretty much always thirsty. My mouth isn't necessarily dry. I just constantly feel like I just want to drink some water. But I'm actually very glad that's happening right now, so no complaints there. I was also at the time still very not very, very tired, but still pretty lethargic for the most part, not really having any energy, and just very lazy. The amount of motivation I have lacked in the last couple weeks is just ridiculous. I get nothing done. My house accumulates mess within no time at all, and it is because of my pure laziness. And I do believe that is pregnancy related, because before then I had no problem just coming home and doing the dishes and getting shit done, and week 13 was just a no-no. I didn't want to do anything. Another thing I noticed around week 13, I actually went to go see one of my girlfriends, and she has a big dog with long, soft hair. I can't think off the top of my head, I always forget what kind of breed she is, but she's this beautiful big dog with long, white, soft hair. And I am allergic to pet dander, cats, dogs, anything, and in different ways. I don't normally react to dogs unless they have short, coarse hair and I kind of like break out on my skin. But due to pregnancy, allergies do increase with some women, and I do believe that that was happening for me because I was at my girlfriend's house and I am a crazy dog lover, so I was loving all over her dog, and my nose just kept running and was stuffy, and I had to sneeze every few minutes, and it was annoying. So before I say the next symptom, I'm going to give a little TMI alert, which, by the way, all of these bump dates are going to have a little bit of TMI, and if you are unaware of that, you probably shouldn't watch any bump dates because pregnancy is what it is, and there's going to be some kind of things you might not want to hear, but it happens. So another symptom I had noticed in week 13 was that I had a lot more discharge than usual, to the point where I was cleaning myself multiple times a day because I just felt dirty, and there was nothing that I could do to really help that. It happens. Okay, the last thing I really noticed in week 13 was just that my flat tummy had completely disappeared. There is no flatness in my stomach at all, but there was a little bit of pudginess, I was calling it. I think in my last bump date video I referred to it as a spaghetti bump, which I still kind of was at the time too. It really just looked like I was bloated from eating too much rather than it being belly. So getting into 14 weeks, a lot of things were very similar to week 13. For instance, I was sleeping a full night without having to pee. My headaches were slight, mild, daily, not nearly as bad and not nearly as often. Again, not really into having any sweets, still thirsty, still lazy. And then I had a couple new symptoms at week 14, and one was my sinuses are clogged first thing in the morning and like right before going to bed at night. But the bad thing of it is, and I do think it has something to do with the fact that my house is heated by a propane heater, so the air kind of gets dry, and I usually forget to turn the humidifier on, which does help a lot, but my sinuses get very clogged and I get like dry, bloody, boogers and stuff like that, and it's a little uncomfortable, and I know that I definitely didn't have it this severe before the pregnancy, so I do believe it's pregnancy related. Also, I had officially started experiencing round ligament pain. I was honestly a little bit nervous at first when I was feeling the pain because I wasn't sure if that's what it was, but the more women I talked to who had experienced the same was reassuring me that that's exactly what it is. If you don't know what it is, round ligament pain is basically when your uterus and things are stretching and moving and you feel it. And for me, it kind of feels like right before I would get my period, where everything's just like real heavy and like just doesn't feel comfortable at all. And it's not ridiculously painful, it's just very uncomfortable, and for a little while I was feeling it really, really low, to where I kind of started to feel a little nervous, but nothing has been wrong, so everything's fine. So week 14, my belly is finally starting to round out a little bit. It's looking a little less chubby and a little more like baby, but still not to my liking. I still feel like I'm just kind of looking fat, but it is starting to round out, so I'm excited for what the next few weeks have in store for my belly. I haven't had any weird dreams at all. And again, I'm gonna get a little TMI here. The only dreams that I've been having that have been weird, I guess, is that they're very intimate, I should say. I think anyone could guess where I'm going with that. And it isn't just necessarily my fiance. It's characters in shows that I have a crush on, and different celebrities and things, and even people I've never seen before in my life. And it's really, really strange, and I definitely don't have dreams like that normally at all. So I'm really thinking it's pregnancy related. Not sure what's worse, having dreams of me sleeping with other men aside from my fiance, or nightmares of people chasing me and throwing car bombs at me. Okay, so week 14, still no cravings, but I am noticing, and I have for a little while now, but I'm noticing more so that when I do want to snack on something, I definitely will reach for anything with cheese, whether it's just slices of cheese or cheese doodles or cheddar and sour cream chips or anything with cheese. I'm loving. Another symptom I experienced in week 14 is actually one that I had very early on and then kind of disappeared for a little bit and was now back at week 14, is aching nipples. This entire pregnancy thus far, I haven't had sore breasts, which a lot of women experience. They're definitely getting fuller and I can feel the heaviness and the difference in them growing, but they haven't been sore by any means. It's just my nipples, like the whole nipple aches, and it's a feeling I can't really explain. It's because it's not like a muscle ache kind of feeling. It's kind of like in the middle of a muscle ache and like a shooting pain, and it's very strange and it's very uncomfortable, and it's usually very like quick but like shocking, and it hurts and it's not fun. And another symptom I've heard is very normal in some women. Not everybody gets it, but I'm one of them. Okay, and I only really have one more new symptom in week 14, and that was that with my uterus and everything growing a lot quicker, now being in the second trimester, I am noticing that I can't really make any sudden movements, especially if I've been sitting for a long period of time before that or standing in one place for a long period of time before that. Most in particular, if I'm driving in the car and I get up to get out really quick, real low, I do feel a pain. It's nothing severe, but it's something that I know I just need to be cautious of, and I need to make my movements much slower, or else everything that is swollen and stretching and expanding and everything does kind of ache, and it's not very comfortable at all. So that's it for weeks 13 and 14. Like I said, I'm officially 15 weeks, so in a couple weeks I will recap on weeks 15 and 16. This Wednesday I have my next OB appointment coming up where we will hear baby's heartbeat, and they will check my blood pressure and my pulse and my height and weight and all that stuff. And that's pretty much it. I'm praying that they schedule me then for my anatomy scan, my 20-week anatomy scan, which I'm also going to try to pull some strings and see if they'll do it a little bit early, because I have been told that they can find out the gender anywhere between 18 and 20 weeks, or 18 weeks and on, which I know people have found out earlier, but that's just, you know, that's protocol, that's what they tell you. It just kind of sucks though, because where I live, the maternity practice, they are very by the book, it seems, so everything has been pretty much exactly how it is typically. So I do think they're going to wait until I am 20 weeks to give me my anatomy scan, but I am going to try to pull some strings and hopefully get it done sooner if I can. Once I do find out the date for my anatomy scan, I will be planning a gender reveal party, which there will be footage for, and everyone will see what we're having, and I'm so excited for that. But I have a little bit of time until that happens. I have a good like 4 or 5 weeks, hopefully sooner if I can pull some strings, but I have a little time until all that comes about. So for right now, I'm just kind of going with the flow, and this pregnancy thus far has been really great for the most part. I've been super lucky compared to some women that I've talked to that experience so many discomforts during their pregnancy, especially in the very beginning, and I've been very blessed to have had an easy pregnancy thus far. I also will be doing a video on old wives' tales with guessing the gender and other little at-home gender predictions that I really want Ray to get involved in and be in the video with me, so we'll see if I can get him to do that. But yeah, that's it for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next one, and before I go, we're gonna look at the belly.